Right, welcome back. Title of this podcast is Politics.
Actually, I call it Politricks.
Oh, I just call it Politics. That's funny that you do that, though. But I just use real words that we find in the dictionary. I don't, make up words to, I don't know, make a small little joke. Oh, you think politics is a joke, is it? You think it's a trick, trying to trick people. Very interesting, co-host. But, me, I have respect for the great institution of politics. That's why I just call it politics. But, you call it whatever you want,
Okay.
All right. My name is Fresh.
And I am Ty.
And once again, the name of the podcast is Politics. All right. I don't know what other people call it, but that's what I call it. Anyway, the title of this particular podcast is The Super Mario Brothers Movie. Or it's Bros, but Bros with a full stop, I assume is Brothers.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's like Bros as in Marcelo Brozovic, who's a Inter Milan midfielder.
Somehow I don't think so.
Or, what's the guy? He was a dictator in that fucking place.
in that place. There's been a few dictators in a few places.
His name was Tito. Tito Bros. And I think it's spelled like this. So I'm like, is this the Super Mario Bros. Movie? A tribute to the dictator Tito Bros.
It's actually his cousin, Super Mario Bros.
Mm.
Yeah.
He's there. their mothers were sisters. the Mario brothers and him. All right. Anyway, enough of this. So what's been happening is I've been like sharing the pod around. All the articles I read said like you want to build up a small catalog,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It said 5 to 10. You need to record 5 to 10 before you start telling people, or properly launch it.
Yes.
So I've decided on 10 on
Okay.
the dot, but we could really, because we've done, I think this is our 6th one, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So we could at this point start releasing, but I think 10 is a good number.
Okay.
But well, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've been just telling my friends about it.
Right.
Just a little sneak peek behind the curtain. Oh, what's happening there behind the curtain? Oh, you can look. You're my friend. Right. And the main sort of criticism, well, let me not say criticism, thoughts, is that the podcast is too long.
Well, that's reasonable.
So that made me very self-conscious. So as I'm writing, as I'm talking, I'm like, oh, this is, just cut it down. Get to the meat of it. Don't, spend time talking shit about the title. Both the podcast and this, the episode title, but we've already done that.
Alright, this is it. That's the end of
Alright,
the podcast.
that's it, yeah. Alright.
We've spent too long already.
Alright. So before the podcast starts,
Okay.
we need to have a public shaming,
Okay.
like in Game of Thrones, which we haven't seen, so you don't know, right?
Yes.
But there's a character named Cersei.
Yes. Heard
She-
of her.
Yeah, so she, I guess it's spoilers, but we find this out in the first episode. She's like in an incest relationship with her twin brother, a twincest situation, if you will.
Oh,
Right, and then like later on, we have something called the what are they? I wanted to call them the crows, but they're not the crows. They like they essentially the church,
Right.
the high sparrow, not crow. they the sparrows, right?
Okay.
They come and like they arrest her
Mm-hmm.
for twincest.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay, but like because she's like the queen, they can't kill her. Or like they come to some agreement where she has to do a walk of shame to have like retribution.
Okay.
So she walks from the Sept of Baelor, which is like their church or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I guess it's the equivalent of. Well, what's the place in Rome where the Pope lives?
The Vatican.
The Vatican. I guess is their. Well, maybe not. I guess Old Town is their Vatican. Never mind. Right? It's just like a big temple in the middle of the biggest city, the capital city of Westeros, right?
Alright.
And it's basically on the other side of the city to the Red Keep, which is where the queen and king live.
Right.
So basically, she has to walk naked from the Sept of Baelor to the Red Keep. A public shaming. And there's a lady that walks behind her ringing a bell that says, shame! Shame!
Right.
Shame! Shame! Anyway, that's what I'm doing here. But to you, right?
To me?
Yes.
Why? What did I do?
Alright. Last week,
Yes.
I found something out. Just from casual conversation, you said something, and my ears pricked up.
Did I engage in twincest?
Something far worse. Something more heinous, more upsetting, more... just... more of an affront to God.
Oh, goodness, okay.
Alright. You said the phrase, Mace Windu is a Sith.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
Okay.
hang on a second, why do you think Mace Windu's a Sith? And you're like, well, he has a purple lightsaber. That's, the good guys have the blue and the green, and the bad guys have the red and the purple. I'm like, why on earth do you think that? And my co-host admitted he admitted he hadn't seen the first 7 Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
The only one he had seen was The Last Jedi, which he had to leave early from the theater, which he didn't even finish that, right?
Yes.
So, it's at this moment my keen detective skills kicked in, and I detected that you probably hadn't seen the first 7 Star Wars.
Wait a second.
Yeah. Some people might say, well, you don't need to detect anything. He told you. Other people might see just a hard-working detective trying his best. And, you shouldn't shame people for trying their best in a new field, But whatever. The person who should be shamed, is my co-host, and... I'm actually not going to do the shaming.
Okay.
I'm leaving it to the listeners to shame you.
Okay. All the comments on this episode are just going to be about me not watching Star Wars.
Well, it's both the public shaming of you and an apology, right? Okay. Apology to the listeners. If I had known, I would not have chose this man as my co-host if I had known this deep dark truth. The thing is, he's always like, when you mention something about Star Wars, he just seems to understand based on like memes and such and like pop cultural influences. Yeah. And that's that. I was tricked. I was tricked just as much as you, listeners. But hey, do you have anything to say for yourself?
I'm sorry for not watching the first 7 Star Wars movies. Well, I watched A New Hope almost straight after we had that discussion. So.
I was like, we gotta amend this. The listeners, okay, you were the one who should be blamed, but they're gonna blame me for not doing something about this. Anyway, well, let's just see. It's been 8 minutes and we haven't even started. we haven't even started the cleanup from last week. That's why just too much dilly-dallying, too much nonsense. Anyway.
Right.
So, sorry for the cat distractions last week. Yeah. Right? I was house sitting for my parents over Easter, and it's just that like from their lounge.
Yes.
Anytime there's like movement, you just like you see it out of the corner of your eye, and you have to look. So I just keep seeing the cats running past. I was like, what the fuck? What are they doing? What are they getting up to? Some the cat council are having a meeting. But anyway, we're back in my house this week, so I don't want to say there won't be distractions. Just that particular type of distraction, no.
Yes.
Right? Last week, next thing from cleanup. Last week, we were having a lot of trouble deciphering the plot of Murder Mystery.
Yes.
So I just assumed that I was the dumbass and, I'm misreading. So I Googled, like, a plot explanation. Okay. Perhaps somebody else could decipher this.
Right.
Nobody can either. Every plot explanation I've read is just also like, I don't know why that happened, but anyway, moving on. That's what every like paragraph of the explainers were. Like, I don't know, dude. Anyway, last thing to clean up from last week, I called the original Blue Beetle Dan Stevens.
Yes.
His name is Dan Garrett.
I mean, close.
Alright, but I'm just saying, right? Dan Stevens, he's an actor. He played Professor X's son David in Legion. Have you ever seen Legion?
No.
Great show. It's very like... So he's like a mind mutant, like Professor X, right? So he there's they made it like a very psychedelic, like Mr. Robot style series, but with powers.
Okay.
So I really like Legion.
Okay.
The last season was kind of weird.
Okay.
But yeah, that first season of Legion was just fantastic. I really, I actually need to go back and watch Legion again. But nevertheless, just
Okay.
very good show. It was created by a guy. His name, I want to say Noah Cohen, but that's a writer. He's a journalist. No, his name is Noah something. But he's the guy who made the Fargo TV series.
Okay.
Fuck, whatever his name is.
Yeah. Just a guy named Noah. Who?
Noah Hawley.
Noah Hawley.
I don't Google. I just I pulled from my mind palace. So if that's wrong, sorry, listeners.
Well,
anyway,
clean up on that next week.
Yeah, we'll clean up this cleanup. We made an even bigger mess while cleaning up this thing. Right, yeah. But it was also in Downton Abbey. That's our first.
Right. Okay.
But I've never watched Downton Abbey. I'm just culturally aware of it, and I would see him in like ads and stuff.
Like, for example, me with Star Wars.
Those are not at all. Downton Abbey and Star Wars are not comparable in any way. Oh my god. Listeners, he's making a mockery of you and me. But, yeah, shame him. Shame him even more. Anyway, now we into the pod. The real pod.
The real pod.
The real pod.
Okay.
This is the news.
10 minutes.
Look, I'm being shamed by my friends. I don't need you to shame me as well. You're the only one who needs to be shamed. I shouldn't be shamed. But anyway, so this is actually kind of more like cleanup, but it is news, right?
Yeah.
So last week I mentioned like offhandedly about a Supreme Court justice named Clarence Thomas. Oh, this is in America, right? Not
Yes. Not
South
our
African.
Supreme Court.
Right. Clarence Thomas being on a boat with a billionaire. So that guy's name is Harlan Crow.
Yes.
Right? And that could be possibly viewed as bribery.
Mm-hmm.
And please keep in mind that bribery is the main story here.
Yes.
And we also found out that it's more than a boat trip. Like, decades of lavish gifts for the Supreme Court judge, which he never disclosed, right? He bought a house for Clarence Thomas's mother, which he doesn't like pay rent for. He just bought a house for her. It's the most corruption on earth, right? And yeah, the Supreme Court is supposed to be a non-political entity with no biases, right? That's what allegedly it's for. I don't know. Do you want me to explain the American justice system?
I mean, do we have time for it?
Fuck! Using it against me. Oh, fine, whatever. All right.
Listeners, go Google the justice system in America.
Anyway, however.
Okay,
let me just say that again, just in case.
Oh goodness. Okay. Yeah.
Please keep in mind that bribery is the main story here.
Yes.
Right?
Bribery.
However, this story has taken a bizarre turn. Right? It's come out that this guy Harlan Crow has a collection of Nazi memorabilia. Wow! Including a signed copy of Mein Kampf.
My goodness.
Listeners, if you don't know, Mein Kampf was Hitler's memoir. A signed copy, as in signed by Adolf Hitler, not just some rando came and signed it. It was a signed copy of Mein Kampf, right? And as more information has come out, I don't think he's a Nazi. I just think he's a collector.
Okay.
Because he has like statues of Lenin, statues of Hitler, and like he's just a collector of like old art stuff. Yeah, artifacts, right? But for whatever reason, he's taking like this very aggressive stance, like, oh, so just because I have some Nazi memorabilia, that makes me a Nazi. Oh, the loony left. Everybody who disagrees with them, they're just a bloody Nazi. And like I said, I don't believe this guy is a Nazi, but you can't take this. You can't get caught with like a signed copy of Mein Kampf and be like, oh, so everybody just thinks I'm a Nazi. You have to be like, okay, I know it looks bad, but I'm just a collector. This attitude that he's taken has been fucking hilarious, bro. Like, oh, whomst among us doesn't have a signed copy of Mein Kampf? People in glass houses, they shouldn't throw stones. And yes, just because my glass house was made out of the glass from Adolf Hitler's office, that doesn't mean I'm a Nazi. That just makes me a collector. The way this guy has been going on this week has just been unbelievable. Anyway, so yeah, the main story is bribery. But the more like things that keep coming out, because like yeah, the one that really caught my eye was a signed copy of Mein Kampf. But there's so much other shit like Hitler's personal like clots and stuff. Like dish clots. It's like they were like monogrammed and stuff like that.
Wow.
And he has them. And yeah, again, I'm not saying he's the Nazi. Well, the thing is, he's like a right winger from Texas. So I'm not saying he has like Nazi style politics. Just I don't want to label him that based on his collection.
Yes.
I don't know his personal.
Yeah.
I'm just saying based on that's the point I'm trying to make, right?
Okay.
He could well be a Nazi, just also a collector.
Yeah.
Right, but anyway, the next story, right? So we have a Game of Thrones prequel based on George R.R. Martin's Dunk and Egg books, officially moving forward at HBO. The announcement was made during the Warner Bros. Discovery presentation to press and investors on April 12th, in which it was announced that the combined HBO Max and Discovery Plus streaming service will simply be known as Max.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't think that's a good.
No, it's a terrible. It's just kind of like they found a guy named Max, and they were like, "We're naming this after you now."
Yes, this is this entire streaming service is just like videos of people following you around with a camera and seeing what happens with this guy Max. Anyway, but it's like. So do you know HBO?
Yes.
It's I guess it's America's version of like a DSTV or one DSTV channel, not the entire.
I would say it's more like Showmaxy.
What Showmax?
Showmax is like a.
That's more like Netflix.
Yeah, I guess.
But I'm saying it as opposed to so this is called cable TV.
Yes.
You get a set of channels, which are the cable channels, and you go to a cable provider who will give you like a package, like HBO, whatever other cable options there are, right?
Right.
But HBO was just the most, I guess, like famous one because it's constantly known for putting out great, content.
Yeah.
For example, The Sopranos.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Last week we were speaking about the. What's it in our recommendation section? I said I was gonna go rewatch Entourage.
Okay.
It's not a good show, but it's just very. I don't know.
It's just.
No, it's just like very personal to me. Like,
Right, okay.
I was saying, like it's like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
HBO makes shows that like connect with people much more so than other stuff. So HBO has become synonymous with like quality programming.
Yeah.
And they dropped the HBO from their name, right? And if you watch the speech that this lady was giving, she was like, HBO, it's become to known as like quality entertainment. That's why we're dropping the HBO. So that this is for everyone, not just prestige entertainment. She's like, I took that as like, listen, we have garbage too. Don't you worry. You think we're just prestige, good quality? No. We've got nonsense.
We will find you some garbage.
We've got nonsense in the back. Don't worry. We'll search the we'll search the trash cans behind us. Anyway, so it also comes a little over 2 years after Variety exclusively reported that the series was in development. The show is based on the series of fantasy novellas by Martin, which follow the adventures of Sir Duncan the Tall, which is Dunk, and a young Aegon the Fifth Targaryen, Egg, 90 years prior to the events of A Song of Ice and Fire. The series is currently titled A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight. The official logline states, a century before the events of Game of Thrones, two unlikely heroes wandered Westeros. A young, naive but courageous knight, Sir Duncan the Tall, and his diminutive squire Egg. Set in an age where the Targaryen line still holds the Iron Throne and the memory of the last dragon has not yet passed from living memory, great destinies, powerful foes, and dangerous exploits all await these improbable and incomparable friends. Martin will serve as writer and executive producer, as will Ira Parker, who was a co-executive producer on Season 1 of House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, and... Martin will serve as writer and executive producer, as will Ira Parker, who was a co-executive producer on season 1 of House of the Dragon. Full stop.
Full stop. Okay.
Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon vets Ryan Condal and Vince Gerardis will serve as executive producers. Martin has published 3 novellas in the Tales of Dunk and Egg series to date: The Hedged Knight in 1998, The Swan Sword in 2003, and The Mystery Knight in 2010. The 3 novellas were then collected and published together as A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms in 2015.
Ah.
Right? So, again, you've never watched Game of Thrones, so you don't know this.
No.
There's a character named Brienne.
Okay.
Brienne of Tarth. They also call her Brienne, I want to say Brienne the Bold, but no, that's not what they call her.
Okay, nice.
I think they call her, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But she's just like a very tall woman.
Okay.
Her grandfather was Duncan the Tall.
It would have been funny if it was Egg.
Yeah, so anyway, Egg, so it's short for Aegon.
Yeah.
Which, you see that name there. I've always pronounced as Aegon, not Aegon. But on the TV show, they pronounce it Aegon. But
Okay.
you know when you're reading, you read it as Aegon.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Because there's an A at the beginning,
Yes,
so why would you not?
Of course, but
Yeah.
whatever. So Egg was like the 5th son of a 5th son. Do you get
Okay.
what that means? So the
Yeah.
king had 5 sons.
Yes.
Of those 5 sons, that 5th son had 5 sons.
Yes.
So Egg was the 5th son of the 5th son. He was called Aegon the Unlikely.
Yeah.
Because pretty much there was like a civil war in his family,
Yeah.
and everyone else died.
Wow.
Well, not everyone
Okay.
else. Like there's one guy who went to. He's a guy named Maester Aemon.
Okay.
He went to we see him in Game of Thrones. He's
Okay.
Jon's friend.
Right.
But he's the older brother of Egg.
Okay.
But the thing is, if you go to the wall and you become a part of the Night's Watch, you relinquish all your titles.
Yeah.
So you can't. He was not allowed to become king because he was a part of the Night's Watch.
Right.
So it eventually got to Egg.
Yeah.
Aegon the Unlikely, right? And that's so. Obviously, before he became king, like in his 20s or whatever. Actually, I don't know when he became king, but the plan was never for him to become king. So that's why he was like squiring in the Midlands with Duncan the Tall. He was never meant to become like a
king.
Yes. So he goes on all these adventures and like you know what a squire is? It's like an assistant to a knight.
Yeah.
And then at some point the knight will knight you.
Yes.
And you become a knight.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so it's just their adventures in the Riverlands and like, you know.
Oh, okay.
I'm very excited for this. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
And I really love that universe. I really liked House of the Dragon season 1.
Yeah.
Which you probably also haven't seen.
No.
But yes, so George Martin basically wrote like a history of.
Okay.
So we that the book that House of the Dragon is based on.
Yeah.
It tells the entire story of the Targaryen family, which were the kings of Westeros.
Yeah.
And that's essentially like a history of Westeros.
Okay.
Because they were the kings pretty much this whole time until Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So, yeah, very excited, very keen. Yeah,
I need them to stop making things in this universe so that I
you
can
can catch up.
Yeah.
It's fine. I rewatched Game of Thrones last year.
Okay.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
You know, everyone talks about the final season.
Yeah.
I really don't think the final season was the worst.
Okay.
Season 6 and 7 were very bad.
Okay.
And then I just think season 8 was a continuation of those 2 bad seasons.
Okay.
And I just think people didn't notice. And it's only that because when it ended, they were like, oh, well, that's a dumb ending.
Yeah.
But it had been dumb for like the previous 2 seasons. So, whatever. On the whole, I really liked it. I think I gave it like an 8.
Okay.
I just think if it stopped after like season 5, it'd be like top 3.
Okay.
It would be in that conversation, but the later seasons really ruined it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all the news I have.
I've got a little bit of exciting news.
Sure.
Within the next week or so, depending on if they can actually get it to work or not, SpaceX will be launching the biggest, most powerful rocket ever created. which I think is just kind of cool.
I read about this,
Yeah.
but there's some sort of valve or whatever that's
Yeah.
an issue.
So yesterday's orbital flight test was delayed because a valve froze and they couldn't get I don't know, whatever it was that they were meant to get through that valve.
All right.
So they had to detank and then look at everything, and it looks like possibly Thursday the 20th will be the next attempt.
What's it called? The rocket?
The Starship.
The Starship.
Yeah. Well,
Is that the
called
name
Starship.
Oh. What's the name of the Starship?
What do you mean the name of the Starship?
Like, you know, in Star Trek, the Starship,
Starship Enterprise.
it's called the Enterprise, right? And like boats have names. They're like,
Yeah.
I can't think of a boat name, but yeah, the Black Pearl
Yeah.
from the Pirates of the Caribbean
Yes.
movies. So what is the name of the spaceship?
Currently I think it's like 724 or something. Because it's Booster 7 and Ship 24.
Listeners are making a very upset face because that's a dog shit name. If I've ever, they don't even have like a nickname like Big Bertha or something, you know, like this is the biggest rocket. Just, you know, these people, they have no fun. Well, there's 7 boosters and 24 whatever, so let's call it 724. When you said that, I thought it meant like 7 days a week, 24 hours in a day, like the you know what grind set is.
Yeah.
When
Yes.
like these people who or they
Sigma grinds.
yes or they don't want to have like fun.
Yeah.
They only want to do stuff that like makes them money.
Yeah.
So they're like, you gotta get up, you gotta grind, you gotta. I thought this rocket was like a grind set rocket. That's like 24/7. I'm just out there in space making money. The grind set rocket.
Well, they're getting rid of it within this test, so it's probably not going to be a very good grindy rocket.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other news?
No, that's about it for me.
All right. So again, yeah, if you'll notice, I cut out a few news stories.
Yes.
No, not from the doc in front of us. Just
Yes.
as I was writing the doc Friday night, I was just like, there's too much news. Let me just stop it at 2 stories.
Okay.
Right. So
Yeah.
because of the advice I've gotten. But anyway,
Constructive criticism.
the constructive criticism. All right, so let's get into the movie.
All right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is wokeness?
What is wokeness?
Yes.
Wokeness. In my mind, it's being like very inclusive of everyone. Well, not really inclusive, but like petitioning for everyone to be included.
Okay, so it means a state of being aware,
Okay.
right? Especially of social problems such as racism and inequality.
So it's kind of there.
Yeah. I'm just, I want to give a proper
definition and not just campaigning
Right.
for people.
It just means you're aware of, societal problems that that you in previous years weren't talked about or were just viewed as normal.
Yeah.
Right. Now that you're awake to it, you can't unsee it.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah.
But like right wingers, they don't like this.
Okay.
They like critique of this is that actually this thing that you're seeing, it doesn't exist.
Okay.
You may think that you've uncovered a plot of racism, but it could be like that particular person was just rude. They weren't being racist. They just rude.
Yeah.
That's their counter.
I guess. Yeah.
I want to say that like people, people who are quote unquote woke, are seeing things that aren't there.
Okay.
They being too dramatic. Like they're taking a small thing and turning into this critique of social of social societal norms and like just society at large, when it's just like a small thing that means nothing, right?
Okay.
But the definition I just gave, just being aware of it, the way they use it, it's become this amorphous kind of thing that they just use to it's like a catch-all to describe things that they don't like.
Okay.
If they see like I don't know,
Something.
you know, like, okay, do you know The Little Mermaid?
Yes.
So
Oh yeah.
The Little Mermaid in the books was white,
Yes.
but they make a live action movie and they cast a black girl.
Yes.
I don't know. Fuck. She's like a singer or something. This is the thing. I think they're twins, right?
Okay.
They call Chloe and Halle Bailey,
Okay.
and one of them is the Little Mermaid.
Oh.
But
okay.
they like a singing group.
Okay.
I don't know too much about them. I was gonna say it's Chloe Bailey, but I don't know I don't know which one of them is the Little Mermaid. That's how I'm like, fuck. Yeah. Anyway, so some people say, folks, this is wokeness. They're replacing the whites. You know, other people. Well, it depends, right? Other people will say this is another type of argument like that. People like to say, well, they're replacing the redheads. So there's like the Little Mermaid in she has red hair.
Yeah. Yes.
And you see this a lot. Like Jimmy Olsen
Yeah.
has red hair in the
Okay.
comics.
Yeah.
Superman's friend.
Yes.
Right, but in live action, in the TV show Supergirl, he's a black guy.
Oh.
So people are like, oh well, they're replacing the redheads. It's a redhead genocide. Well, first of all, the reason they do that is, like in comics and like animation,
Yeah.
the color red just pops more.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more animated characters that have the color red in their hair because it's more visually striking.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like most people have black or like blonde or like brown hair.
Yeah.
Right? The red like kind of breaks up the monotony.
Yeah.
Right? It's visually it gives a contrast to other hairstyles. So
Yeah.
that's why in like animated stuff there's a lot of red-headed
Okay.
characters. But in the real world, those like, so basically because of those animated things, the red-headed people are overrepresented in
Yeah.
animated stuff. So when they
When they try to cast redheads,
Yes.
they can't get them.
not that they can't get them, it's just that it's like red-headed people are like 1%,
Yeah.
whereas like other races are like just a lot more. They just have a lot bigger depth of people to pick from.
Yeah.
So people interpret this as like, folks, this is wokeness. They're gonna run amok. They're replacing the redheads. Or again, it depends, right? Some people are like, oh, they're replacing redheads. Some people are like, oh, they're replacing white people.
Yeah.
So again, it depends on
Yeah.
whatever topic you feel strong about. But anyway, this is what I mean when about people. It's like a catch-all term.
Okay.
It's well, what they mean is they don't like Hillary Clinton style centrist politics, right? Which
Yeah.
they misattribute to being like socialism,
Okay.
right? But so this movie has been getting bad reviews from critics,
Okay.
right? But the movie is making money, so we have a lot of right-wing culture commentators. We're taking this opportunity to claim it as a win against wokeness and the woke Disney Corporation, right?
Right.
Because all the critics, every single one of them,
All of them.
it's not individual people. They're an amorphous bunch,
Yeah.
right? They all woke.
Okay.
So anytime they just see a good, hardworking, old-fashioned conservative guy, Mario, they get frickin' triggered. And they just give it bad reviews, but us the common regular people, we just go and we see a good fun movie, right? That's what they're trying to do here, right?
I've not just seen where this fits into the context.
All right, because yeah, sorry, I don't know. I think I should be more like tell you what the point is before I go into it instead of just like leading you.
It's just
Yeah.
a vague circle, and then
Yes.
it connects at some point.
So they basically Nintendo was not Nintendo, the Mario Brothers movie was made by a studio called Illumination,
Yes.
and they were distributed by Universal.
Yes.
So and they're making money. So Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania
Yeah.
didn't make a lot of money,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
And so they're using this as like a, cause what's her name? Cassie. Scott's daughter.
Yeah.
She's like a SJW.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
there's something about gay people in that movie. Remember, Victoria Alonso didn't want to cut it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what.
Yeah,
That tells you how memorable that scene was. I can't even remember. But yes, well, whatever, right? So they're claiming this as a win against the woke Disney Corporation. You know,
Okay.
the phrase they love to use is "go woke, go broke," right?
Wow, okay.
There's countless examples that disprove this.
Yeah.
The first example being Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
it stars Brie Larson, right?
Yeah.
So on the press tour for Captain Marvel, Brie Larson she said something like, she looked at the press room and said, "Wow, there sure is a lot of old white guys here," which whatever, bro. But like the right wing took supreme offense to this, right? Every other video on like these right wing YouTubers channels are like, Brie Larson is fired from the Disney Corporation for being too woke. Something like that. It's just every other video is something. Brie Larson did this, and that's why she's a bitch. And like any like small like cringe thing she does, it's like, look at this woman, she's the worst in the world, right? So there's an entire industry of like people making videos criticizing woke movies.
Yeah.
Right? And and we're getting in on that. Let's go, gang. This Mario Brothers movie, it's freaking woke. Let's get it out of here, gang. Okay. I'm obviously joking, right? But another, like, example, well, it's not this exact same, but, like, Top Gun, Maverick, right?
Yes.
They claim it as an anti-woke movie.
Wait a second.
But if like what I said, it's like, it's just Hillary Clinton style centrist politics.
Yeah.
There's a diverse cast of young people in that movie.
Yeah.
Right? And I think one of them is like gay.
I have no idea.
Whatever.
Sure,
Right?
yeah.
The point is they have a diverse cast.
Yeah.
And by that metric, that should be a woke movie.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they don't claim it as a woke movie. They claim it as an anti-woke movie. One, because it made a bunch of money. So so they're like, yes, anti-woke movie is making money. Let's go. But two, I think they just like Top Gun.
Yeah.
So they have to like bend over backwards and make excuses why this isn't woke. This is actually anti-woke, right? And this kind of like proves that they're not using like principles.
Okay.
They're just kind of whatever they like.
Yeah.
That's anti-woke. Whatever they don't like, that's woke.
Yeah.
Whatever they do like, that's anti-woke.
Yeah.
Right. So I just kind of wanna this, like, in the Avatar episode.
Yeah.
What did I say? Cancel culture.
Yeah. Cancel
So
culture.
cancel culture and wokeness are these words that right wingers use, these buzzwords that they use all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about them once and then never speak about them again.
Alright.
Because like, just because these idiots use it all the time, that doesn't mean it's like they seeing things that aren't there.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
The thing they accuse us of doing.
They are in fact doing.
Yes, bless
Thank
you.
you. Thank
By they say by being woke you're seeing things that aren't there. They just interpreting things that aren't there. But anyway, this right. So my theory is that they think if they portray the narrative that woke films don't make money, then corporation will stop making these types of movies.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
They'll only make non-woke movies.
Yeah.
I would simply point out that they're using like box office data to draw these conclusions.
Yeah.
But like Disney and like the various like content corporations obviously have like internal data.
Yeah.
Like the number of streams a particular show or movie does on their streaming
Yeah.
service, like, and
Yeah.
merchandise sales, like, well, what characters sell more,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. They have lots of internal data that we as the public will never be privy to.
Yeah.
Right? And I assume that they're basing their decisions on this internal data, not just like
Yeah.
the box office. Yes, it is important, but it's a smaller piece in a larger picture.
Yeah.
So by having all this extra data, the people inside the company have more information,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And have a much clearer picture as opposed to somebody who's just drawing conclusions based on box office, and not just that, like how much things cost.
Yeah.
Because we are speaking about production budgets.
Yeah.
Those are usually all estimates. They don't give us like,
Exact.
yeah, it costs
Yeah.
this much and $24. It's
Yeah.
they tell us 20 million,
Yeah.
or whatever. They give us
Just
like round numbers.
Yeah.
Right. That's why we don't know the precise numbers of anything really.
Yeah.
So that's why it's. I'm just assuming this. Maybe Disney, they don't have internal data. They're like, there's somebody there who's like, woke, more woke, and we have a worker who's turning a button that goes, more.
They turn it all the way around.
Like, turn the woke button up. Maybe that's what they do at the Disney Corporation. But yes, so all the stuff about wokeness that right wingers complain about,
Yeah.
is usually just nonsense.
Yeah.
So and again, just stuff they made up in their mind. They're trying to portray a narrative that their ideas are more popular and the things they don't like aren't popular, right?
Right.
But this is the thing. Most movies have like a mixed or like a not well thought out politics.
Okay.
Because the majority of people are quote unquote apolitical.
Yes.
And in the introduction of this podcast, I said that doesn't mean the politics aren't there.
Yeah.
It's just the person isn't thinking about it too much when they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
So we are speaking about Top Gun,
Yes.
about woke, anti-woke.
Yes.
So woke, anti-woke is not left or right wing.
Yeah.
Because if we looked at Top Gun, that's an insanely right wing movie. It's just military propaganda up the wazoo, right? But based on their misunderstanding of the world, right? Like I said, having a diverse cast to them, that should set off alarm bells in their head, right? But because they liked it, it doesn't, affect them.
Yeah.
So that's why we can see this woke stuff is just bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it's just whatever they happen to like and whatever they don't happen to like in that moment.
Yeah.
And feelings change.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is the last time I'll ever have to address wokeness.
Hopefully. We can only hope.
Right. But, yeah. So, that's the context surrounding this movie.
Okay.
The right wing have claimed this as a win for them in the culture war. Alright.
Okay.
So anyway, after the critical and commercial failure of the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Film adaptation, the Japanese video game company Nintendo became wary of licensing its properties for film adaptations.
Okay.
We're going to be covering that on the Patreon.
Nice.
After this, the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Yes.
Right. According to Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, the idea for a new Mario film came from bringing their older games to the virtual console and other services.
Oh, okay.
Such transitions took time for the company, and Miyamoto recognized that our content business would be able to develop even further if we were able to combine our long-beloved software with that of video assets and utilize them together for extended periods.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Okay. I'm keeping that in mind.
I'll refer back to that.
Alright, cool. Sounds good.
So I did this a little bit differently than we have been doing in previous weeks.
Okay.
In previous weeks, I just go through the movie scene by scene and write down,
Yeah.
alright, this is what I thought about that scene.
Yeah.
This week, I've just written a header that says my thoughts, and then just my general thoughts on the movie, not going scene by scene, but like making a point and then pointing to instances in the movie, where this happened.
Yeah.
Again, just to try to make things shorter.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So in a way, I feel like this is the inverse Avatar movie.
Okay.
All the criticisms people level at Avatar, I feel apply to this movie.
Okay.
So we're gonna do like a compliment sandwich.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So you front load it with a compliment.
Yes.
You put in all the negative things you want to say, and then
then
another.
yeah.
You back in it with another compliment.
Yeah.
Right? So first of all, this is a spectacularly beautiful movie.
Yes.
Okay, I think we can agree with that.
Yeah.
Like Avatar.
Yeah.
Right?
It was great.
But entirely devoid of any art. For me.
Okay. Yeah.
You may feel that way. I'm just saying for me.
Yeah.
Right? In the Avatar episode, I said the plot is like a code track. It gives structure to the visuals. You know, this type of movie. If you're really focused on the visuals and you don't need an out of this world plot. You just need something sturdy to hold everything in place.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But Mario's code track is a toilet. I'm putting my coat on it, right?
Yeah.
And the bottom of the coat is touching the ground where, like, you know, pee, like, you know, like pee bounces off, like lands on the floor. It's touching that. The top of the coat, it's fallen into the toilet bowl. It's wet. Yeah. Zaki Hassan.
Yeah.
So he's a writer for the San Francisco Chronicle. He called it a blandly efficient piece of brand management.
Okay.
Right? So please refer back to the context section. That's precisely what this guy said they wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
They wanted parents to take their kids to see this. The kid comes across like a Mario game and thinks, oh, I know this guy. He's from the movie.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll be more likely to want to play the game or buy whatever Mario merchandise because it's called brand recognition, right?
Yeah.
This is essentially like an hour and a half advert that they put out, right, to hook kids. That's essentially what this movie was.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just find this extremely cynical and in poor taste.
Okay.
Right. We've been speaking about this in previous weeks, right? But a movie should be about an artist. In this case, a director.
Yeah.
Expressing themselves. Oh well, I just mean any piece of art.
Yeah.
Should be about the artist, and
Okay.
in this case, it's the director who's the artist.
Yeah.
Expressing themselves. Nintendo brand management can kiss my ass, right? Fuck this movie. That's my whole thesis of this movie is that first paragraph.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from. I just, like, for me, as a person who played a lot of Mario games growing up, in my mind, it's just rooted in nostalgia. It's like the Spider-Man movie.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring that up. But yes, carry on.
It's very like nostalgic for the people who grew up playing Mario games to see all these things come through and their favorite, well, some people's favorite Nintendo character being portrayed in a movie where he goes on his own adventure.
Sure. So the part of what made this plot so offensive to me is that these references are all shoehorned in.
Okay.
You know, like you were saying, Spider-Man, but
Yeah.
the majority of the Marvel movies have this sort of problem.
Yeah.
For me, they instead of just and not just Marvel movies, the biggest culprit is The Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
It's called reference humor.
Okay.
Instead of making a joke, they'll kind of make a reference to something else.
Yeah.
And if you've never seen that other particular thing, it makes no sense to you.
Yeah.
You have no context for this, right?
Yeah.
It's not a joke. If this was the first ever TV show that you're watching,
Yeah.
you would not laugh 90% of the time, right? Because they don't make actual jokes. It's just references.
Yeah.
And if you have no context for the reference, it's dog shit. It's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
And I feel this Mario movie is is precisely that, right?
Yeah.
So you know, like the very egregious one, the one that really got my blood pumping, right? Is there's like that ugly turtle-looking motherfucker.
Bowser's advisor. Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pulls the blue shell off his back and throws it and says, "Blue shell." That's the dumbest thing, bro. What? That it's not a plot mechanic, or you know, it's just like a reference for reference sake.
Yeah.
And it made me think of that Spider-Man movie that I fucking hate. Right? That's reference for reference sake.
Yeah.
It just rubbed me the wrong way, right?
Okay.
And if you remember last week, I said every movie we've covered here has been a sequel. I can't wait to do an original movie, and then we do fucking this dog shit. Careful what you wish for, folks. Careful what you wish for. Right? And I'm the one who suggested we do this. Right.
And just remember, you were like, Oh, the what are they called? The people who review, the reviewers,
Yes.
the critics,
Hmm.
thought that this movie was terrible, but all the audience that we've seen has said, "Oh, this movie's amazing,"
Hmm.
and so I want to do this movie. And look where you ended up, hating this damn movie.
So I'm not allowed to have opinions.
No, I never said.
I need to just go along with what the audience says. All right.
I'm just saying. You
Well, what is this show? Are we not critics?
we are critics.
In a sense.
Well, yes, but I enjoyed the movie.
Being critical doesn't mean you hated the movie. It just means looking at it through I don't know, magnifying glass. not being, like, not letting nonsense just go by uncritically. That's what being a critic is.
Yes. Okay.
Right? It doesn't mean being negative. It means giving your opinion.
Okay.
All right, but anyway, right? So this movie was just like references for reference sake, and if they had incorporated those things in a more like I don't know, casual or like in a way that doesn't seem so forced,
Okay.
I would have been much more receptive to it.
Yeah.
But for a guy to reach to his back, pull a blue shell off and shout "blue shell," it's so distracting. It's so upsetting, right? And so like, I also didn't understand why they started off in Brooklyn.
I'm assuming it's like similar to the, you know how Murder Mystery 2, spoiler alert.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Listen, have we ever been to Brooklyn in any of the Mario games?
Not that I can recall now.
So
I don't know.
is it, who told him it's from Brooklyn? I guess the 1993 movie is also set in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So there's like a history of this. So
Yeah.
they didn't just pull it out of thin air, but
Yeah.
I just don't understand why they couldn't just start in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
This is a fantasy movie. We don't need to add this like second layer where like they're in the real world and they get, they could just live in the Mushroom Kingdom,
Yeah.
fixing pipes and such.
Which they, spoiler alert, they do at the end of the movie. Well, kind of. But yeah, they I'm assuming it was like the beginning setting in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Was to then set up the end where they go back to Brooklyn and then they fight Bowser. I don't know why it's needed.
They could fight Bowser in the
Yeah.
Mushroom Kingdom.
I know.
Again, it's just. Well, but that's not like a big thing. It's just I just wondered, like, we're already in a fantasy world. Well, we're watching a movie, right? We're expecting a fantasy. There's no need for, like, if they were. Well, I guess they are human.
Yeah.
So
Peach
where's
literally says
so Peach? We don't know if she's human, right?
no.
The implication is that like she's just not from the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
She's just from somewhere else.
Yes.
They may or may not be from the same world.
Yeah.
Which again, it's even more so. They don't need to be from Brooklyn. They could have just been like,
been from anywhere.
just people just show up here,
Yeah.
and we happened to show up here one day, and that was it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's stuff like that where they needed to explain stuff that didn't have or doesn't need explaining.
Yeah.
Like, we need to explain how they got to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
They could just be there,
Yeah.
in
They
the
could've
same.
just
Yeah.
started there. Yeah.
It's there's stuff like that where it's like they feel the need to justify everything from the game.
Okay.
Like Princess Peach.
Yeah.
She was like, "Hey, look, these are power-ups. We use them for like."
Yeah.
Who put those things there?
I don't know.
They just
they're
they're just there.
Yeah.
All right. So they won't explain the actual questions we have, but like, it was just so belabored.
Yeah.
Like, if Mario was just like already living there, he knew the rules of the world, and we as the audience just go along with it. That would be fun. But it's like it just wants to hold your hand and be like, oh, you see this, and this is why we have it, and oh, you see this reference from the movie. This is why we have it. It's
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're just going in circles now.
Yes.
Alright, I'm just gonna go to the next point, which is the voices.
Okay. The voices.
So there was possible controversy, right? Because about whether Chris Pratt would do the stereotypical "It's a me, Mario," voice. the compromise voice he went with was awful. Right. It's very like unmemorable. It's just like a regular voice to it. You know, and a lot of like voice actors were criticizing getting him as the lead. Like, well, like voice acting is an art in and of itself.
Yeah.
But what you see is like companies just get in like a big live action star.
Yeah.
Who's not gonna do a good voice performance.
Yeah.
Or not do a good voice performance. Just they're not as trained as the voice actor would be.
Yeah.
Right.
Because a voice actor will go through the training to put the emotion into their voice, but
yes,
a live action star can use their body to
signify
something.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that they're not able to convey like emotion with their voice. It's just that that's not the primary use. That's not what they're used to.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only thing. So there was controversy that they just hired some random actor instead of getting a voice actor.
Yeah.
And that he was gonna do a stereotypical accent that was offensive to Italians.
Yeah.
And they kind of hint at it, which again, a reference for reference sake. When they make an ad of them, like what was the ad of?
Their plumbing business.
Yeah, and they're doing the voice.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
It's like it's very like it baits the audience into thinking, oh, he's going to be doing this whole stereotypical Italian thing for so long.
Yeah, everyone, before the movie started, there were a bunch of tweets that were like, it's a me, Mario. Sorry, I don't know what happened to my voice. Just, that's what they thought it was. And this is that exact same thing. They it's a reference for reference sake.
Yeah.
Why even? You don't need to acknowledge it at any point.
Yeah.
At all for anything.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's just how they talk. We don't need to make a reference to anything.
We could just make him a regular plumber from Brooklyn.
Yes, but yes.
Yeah.
I just think this guy's a prat.
Because it's Chris Pratt.
Anyway. Hilariously, he wasn't even the worst voice in the movie.
Okay.
The voice that I didn't get any joy from was Princess Peach.
Okay. Voiced by
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Jeez Louise. Oh God. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
And on the day, I found Luigi to be inoffensive.
Oh my goodness.
Right, because he's
oh no.
He's not like good or bad. He's just like kind of there as well. Very middle of the road. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's just unmemorable. They're not doing anything interesting here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Voiced by Charlie Day. And finally, we have Jack Black as Bowser.
Yeah.
Right? And he was my favorite voice performance.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I think a lot of people feel that way as well, that like Bowser was the best character in this movie. Yeah. And like a lot of people are going to watch just because of Bowser.
Yeah.
So he's the reason that this movie, they're, what's it called? Not record books, they're
stat sheets.
What do accountants use to... They're journals.
Okay, yeah, they're journals.
They're checkbooks. They're balance sheets.
Yes, balance sheets.
Bowser is the reason their balance sheets are in the black. Because if it's in the red, it's bad.
Yeah.
If in the black, it's good. Voiced by Jack Black. Look, I was writing this and I wasn't planning on this. I just wrote Princess Peach didn't give me a lot of joy. And I was like, now hang on a second.
Wait a second.
What if I did a very belabored, clearly telegraphed over the top nonsense?
References for reference sake.
Oh, don't do that to me. I'm being bullied by Bako. And if you've been following the trend, he's been bullying the disabled. Okay, so if you don't listen to our commentaries, right? Anytime he sees like a blind person or like a person in a wheelchair, you like make fun of them. I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
No.
Right? So I just have a very mean-spirited co-host, and he's doing that to me now, and I don't like it, frankly. I don't like it. I don't like what he's doing. But anyway. So subscribe to the Patreon if you want to see, or if you want to listen to like
People getting bullied.
Yeah, disabled people being bullied by my co-host, my very rude and insensitive co-host.
That's gonna get taken out of context at some point.
Well, good. You deserve you deserve to be cancelled and shamed. He deserves it, folks. Right. The next thing I want to say is the music.
Yeah.
Is just the most generic and like it's not based on being the best song for the moment. It's just like a surface level pattern match based on like the words being said.
Okay. Yeah.
So let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Army of the Dead?
No, but I've heard about it.
What have you heard?
I don't know. I remember you telling me about it, but I don't remember.
It's directed by Zack Snyder,
Yes.
and so it's a zombie movie.
Yeah.
There's well, we don't have to get into the specifics, right?
Right.
But there's a point in the movie where he plays the song "Zombies" by the Cherries, right? The Cranberries. Yes, I was going to call them the Cherries, but yeah. And that song is a song about like like drug addiction.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, wherever this band was in time, there was like a drug problem. And there was a lot of people that they were so high on drugs they walked around like they were zombies.
Yeah.
So this is a song about, drugs, right?
Yeah.
And Zack Snyder just heard the word zombies and he was like, "Fuck yes, dude! It's going in my zombie movie." In the same way, I just think that's how every music or every song was chosen for this. They're like, "All right, so we need a hero. What can we choose?"
I need a hero.
Yeah, that's precisely it, right? And I want to contrast this with the John Wick movies that we've been doing recently on Patreon.
Yeah.
And we did an episode, not last week, the week before, right?
Yeah.
The John Wick music is exceptional.
Yeah.
It's
It
they and well, I guess they don't use like music with lyrics in them, right? It's just like usually like techno or like dance. So
yeah.
I guess that kind of plays a part, but they just choose the best song for what's happening.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to be like, all right, so in the song they say these words and something similar to those words are happening on screen. Let's just put it together, right?
Yeah.
I just found every single song in this movie to be extremely basic, and
yeah. There's quite a bit of the the soundtrack, but like specifically what's the background soundtrack called? Like the
score.
Yeah, the score. There's quite a bit of the score that's based on Mario game music.
Yeah, I guess yes.
Yeah,
yes,
and
yes.
that's it. Again, it's the whole nostalgia thing, where it's like, oh hey, this guy's doing this thing. Let's do this. Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Bowser when he's playing the piano.
All right. Yeah. Sure. I'm just speaking about the like inserted music, not the background music.
Thunderstruck and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, your thoughts?
Yeah, I personally enjoyed it quite a lot because I'm a sucker for those references.
All right. When you get home, you cook yourself a nice roast with lots of references on the side, and you really tuck into those references. That's what you love.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like the blue shell is a great example where he took it off his back and he threw it, and I was like, oh, he did the thing from the game. How cool is that?
Right. It's not that he threw the blue shell, it's the manner in which it was introduced that I had a problem with.
Yeah, I get that.
Again, it's not the reference, it's just the manner in which it was like
put
shoehorned and like just thrust in your face. Oh, this is a reference. You know a reference, right? Yeah, but anyway, carry on.
Yeah, it was just, I enjoyed it. Good move. Yeah.
Anything else? You have like a whole page of notes and that's the only thing you've said. What is written there?
I've actually got about 4 pages of notes.
What's written there?
It's mostly stuff we've already talked about.
Oh.
Like, there's kind of general just thoughts about the movie and how Bowser genocides piranha plants on multiple occasions.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's just 4 pages of jokes about disabled people,
Oh
and you've been waiting to try shoe on them at any chance you get. Like, who can I make fun of this today? Where can we find a cripple that I can make fun of? Yeah. But anyway.
Oh, actually, there was one thing, and I know people aren't gonna like this because it's about Bowser, right? But for me, he strikes me as someone that's like an incel almost, where he's just like he wants this girl, she doesn't want him back, so he does everything he can possibly to get this girl. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does, but yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that I didn't like about the movie.
Okay, can I just speak about Bowser?
Yeah, go for it.
He's not threatening.
Yeah.
There's
the bit right at the beginning when they capture all the penguins, and he destroys their whole city with his fire breath. But that's really about it. I think.
Sure, but what I'm saying is, at no point do we think Mario's gonna lose.
No.
There's no like tension.
Yeah.
Which is why, we go back to my original point. This is kind of like a movie for babies.
I'm assuming it's a kids movie.
I'm not saying kids movie. I'm saying for babies.
For babies, like toddlers.
Like 3-4 years old.
Okay.
Not like a 9-10-year-old kid.
Okay.
Because like, there's no tension. There's no conflict. It's like they think a kid would see that and become upset because like Bowser's being too mean or something like there are lots of children's movies that have like like jokes that will go over like children's heads that are for the adults watching with them.
Yeah.
This movie, I'm saying babies.
Okay.
That's the
actual babies.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Okay.
But
that's fair. I think it's for like people in the like maybe the 20 to 30 range.
Oh no! Again, this is the same thing we were saying about Star Wars, right? I'm not saying people can't watch and older people can't watch and enjoy this.
Yeah.
I'm saying the people who made this, when they were making it,
they intended it for.
Yes, their intended audience was kids.
Yeah.
I'm not saying older people can't watch and enjoy it. That can't,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I'm not saying that is how it happened. Maybe they were thinking about 20 to 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying from my point of view, it's the Jedi who are evil. Listeners, he doesn't know what that means. That's from it's from Revenge of the Sith. He has no idea what he thinks this is from a KFC ad or something. He doesn't know what this is a reference to.
Yeah, it's just I don't know if they would still shoehorn in the references if it was for specifically kids, because the kids wouldn't.
Oh yes, sure.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, you know what I was saying about they want the parents to take the kids.
Yeah.
The kids see the movie, and then they'll remember the stuff when they play the game.
Yeah.
So that
guess,
brand management. It's so it works on 2 levels for.
It would make sense for it to be for both because 20 to 30-year-olds have young
already
kids.
Played it and they sure, fair enough.
Yeah.
But the reason I said that there's no conflict, there's no tension is because like Bowser just kind of gives up.
Yeah.
At the end, like this that whole plot could be resolved by just like chatting to him. Like if this guy went to therapy, if Bowser went to therapy. Where is this dinosaur guy in a therapist's office?
Poke holes in the couch.
In the couch. Wow. He burnt the tissues because he burped. Anyway, so that's what I'm saying. If there was like danger, if there was like tension, and most kids' movies have this, right?
Yeah.
It was just like, not just with Bowser, with like Luigi and Mario. It's Luigi loves Mario. It's not like the easy like way to go like around that would be like Luigi is tired of living in Mario's shadow.
Yeah.
And you're like, when they split up, he's like, I'm gonna do it on my own. But
Yeah.
he was just like,
I'll wait for Mario to come and save me.
Stuff like that. It's like there's no characterization.
Yeah.
Princess Peach, also, well, I guess it was a good idea not to make her get like kidnapped
Yeah.
and be a damsel in distress, right? Because it's like it sends a bad message to kids that like women are always in trouble and boys need to be like the hero and save them from a dinosaur man who needs therapy. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yes, but
From Jack Black in a dinosaur suit.
yes, but isn't that woke? So you're telling me a woman gets kidnapped by a dinosaur and I'm supposed to do nothing? The loony left once your princess to be with a fire-breathing dinosaur and you just let it happen. You're not supposed to go save... That's what the loony left wants. Yeah.
Also, I think he's a turtle.
Is he a turtle?
Yeah, because Mario says, I'll get you a turtle when you come visit me in Brooklyn. And then at the end, when they force him to eat the small shroom, he becomes small and he's like, here you go, here's your turtle. Or
I guess he's... Because his minions are turtles.
the Koopas.
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened to the mushroom guys? I mean, not mushroom guys. They're like... Aren't the Koopas the like brown
Yeah.
small guys?
Well, no, those are Goombas.
Goombas!
Yes.
Alright. Did we see Goombas in this movie?
Very briefly.
I don't recall them. But,
Bowser gave like this big speech to his entire army and he's like, the Koopas, the Goombas, and whatever those things are.
Alright.
And those things get very sad.
So I guess he could be... Well, not... He's like a more evolved turtle.
Yeah, basically.
Or a devolved turtle and is a dinosaur.
Maybe.
Well, the reason I'm saying dinosaur is because we haven't done it yet, but in the 1993 Mario Brothers movie, the plot set up for that movie is that like reality split into two many years ago, and one world dinosaurs became the dominant race, and in the other world humans became the dominant race, and Bowser's so they go through like a pipe or whatever, and they go to the dinosaur world, and Bowser's the person in charge.
Yeah.
So that's that's why I'm calling him a dinosaur.
Okay.
And he also looks like a dinosaur. Well, but he breathes fire, which is like a dragon thing.
Yeah, it is a very dragon thing.
So yeah. It's like a dinosaur dragon type situation. But again, these are all like reptile things.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you have anything else?
Anything else? Not really. I mean, just good movie. In my opinion.
Fair enough. Number?
Probably a 7, to be honest.
Alright, I give it a 5.
Okay. Why the 5?
Huh?
Why the 5?
Because of everything that I've said.
Okay,
prior to this. It's good visuals, but the plot and its silliness and the voice acting are all very poor.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
There's another thing I wanted to say. This is the thing. As we're speaking, other things come to my head, and I never wrote it down, so I can't like just refer back and be like, Bowser being an incel. Yeah.
Yes.
If he did a mass shooting,
Well, he destroyed a penguin city.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He's the villain.
Yeah.
He should be doing a mass shooting. He should be, and oh yes, that's what I was gonna say. They could have, when I said there's no tension, there's no anything. So for Bowser has some kind of spy.
Yes. With
the mushroom people.
Yes.
Because he knows, Mario came in and like he knows things that are going on in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yes.
So if another like good thing they could have done was having like exposing a spy.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Something interesting. But like
They could have had like a secondary Toad, not like
Toad himself. Yes.
well, yeah, not Toad.
Well,
'cause
I
they
guess-
can't be Toad.
Their species are called toads, and his name is Toad.
Yeah, I
A
guess.
human named Human.
Yeah.
But there are people named Human. So, well, it's more like a surname. I've heard people with surnames Human.
Yeah.
But still.
So anyway,
Your name is the name of the race. Anyway, carry on.
because Toad is canonically Princess Peach's like personal bodyguard, basically, right? So realistically, they'd want to keep it that way.
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't have to be Peach. It could have been anyone.
Yeah.
That's the spy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They could have like a secondary Toad that follows
Yes.
him around.
Alright.
Right.
But I'm just trying to think.
Anything else?
Yeah, well, that's it. And I think we're in good time. The time is hour 15.
Yeah.
So a lot less than we usually do.
Yeah, that is true.
Recommendations?
Recommendations. Oh, I knew I was forgetting something.
Mm.
I did watch something the other day, but I don't remember. So I'll quickly look that up.
So, this is the thing.
Yeah.
I've been mentioning I listened to a podcast called Blank Check.
Yes.
And last week I missed the movie.
Okay.
Or I hadn't watched it before we recorded.
Yes.
So I caught up. It's a movie called Trance.
Okay. I think you did briefly say
Yeah,
that.
I said I was going to watch Trance. And then now that I've watched it, it's a bizarre movie.
Okay.
Potentially Danny Boyle's worst movie.
Oh, okay.
It's... Every 10 minutes there's a twist.
Okay. Yeah.
It's Twist City, bro. They just I just found it so there's nothing to like grab onto,
Yeah.
because in the next few minutes you're going to be finding something out that's gonna change your whole perspective on this shit. So
Yeah.
like it was just twist after twist.
Yeah.
I just found it not good.
Okay. Yeah.
Although
Although.
you do see full frontal nudity of Rosario Dawson. So,
Oh.
if you're a pervert like me.
That's gonna be taken out of context.
Well, that is the context. I am a pervert. I don't know, are you taking that out of context would make it seem like I'm a good person? That would be out of context. Anyway, and then after Trance, I watched this week's episode because a little peek behind the curtain. We're recording on Tuesday, not
Sunday,
not on
like
Sunday.
usually.
Yeah, so this week's episode was Steve Jobs,
Okay.
which I think it might be Danny Boyle's best movie.
Oh wow. Okay.
And a few weeks ago I said it was Sunshine.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't decided yet, but it's between Steve Jobs and Sunshine where I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, but he was like kind of brought in to work on it.
Okay.
Like it's really the main like driving force is a guy. His name is what's his name?
His name is Spock. What's his name?
No. Okay, Sorkin, Aaron Sorkin.
Okay.
So do you know who that is?
No.
He became, well, he's a writer, but he became famous for a TV show in the 90s called The West Wing.
Okay.
Which, have you ever heard of that?
No.
So, it's a political TV show.
Alright.
But this guy is very, he's a dipshit.
Oh.
He has a limited understanding of politics at best, right?
Okay.
And his, like, kind of writing style is, people saying something very clever.
Okay.
So you see, like, people in his shows and in his movies, you have people in, like, debates.
Okay.
And someone will say something mad, they'll be like, blah, 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 blah. And the other person, without having to think, will just go, blah, 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 something equally brilliant, right? So that's why a lot of his movies and TV shows, what stands out is the dialogue.
Yeah.
Because, like, one person will say something amazing, and the other person will have, like, an equally amazing response, and they'll just go back and forth. And
Okay.
so I really like that kind of interplay between his his characters and like the tempo he moves at, but his politics are very dumb. Right, awful. So he wrote The Social Network,
Okay.
right, which was a very massive success.
Yeah.
Cruelly lost the Oscar to something dumb. I can't remember what.
Nice. Okay.
In 2010, probably, I think, The Artist. I know. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
So he wanted to run it back and do it another like figure.
Yeah.
So obviously the Facebook one was Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
But
right.
he wanted to do a Steve Jobs type thing.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get David Fincher back, who did The Social Network.
Okay.
So they brought in Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
And so watching Steve Jobs and
The Social Network.
Social Network
Yeah.
provides a very good contrast of like how different directors' styles enhance this guy's his dialogue and his I don't know dialogue,
Yeah.
right, or just his writing in general.
Yeah.
And I think Social Network might be a better movie, but I prefer Steve Jobs much more.
Okay.
It was just I think he was better acted. I think just Danny Boyle's kind of filming style
Yeah.
suits it more, or not suits it more, just I found it more enjoyable.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Steve Jobs himself, huge piece of shit.
Yeah.
Listen, in certain cases I don't mind mocking the dead.
Yeah.
I just want to put that on record for the listeners,
Okay.
right? There might be times where I say, oh, that's in poor taste, mocking a dead person. The difference being, I think evil people, bad people deserve to be mocked.
Reasonable.
So like if a war criminal killed themselves, I would celebrate that.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm in support of like suicide and self-harming.
Yeah.
I'm in support of a bad person.
It's kind of one of those like, what's the saying? It's like a thin line to walk or something between.
Not really.
It's just one of those.
There's unequivocally bad people in the world.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So I don't view it as like a.
Yeah, but some people would be viewing
Alright,
it as.
but anyway, this guy's Steve Jobs.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter.
He had an entirely treatable form of cancer.
And he
didn't get the treatment. He like this dipshit just assumed he was smarter than everyone else, right?
Yeah.
All the doctors telling him, oh, you can just get this treatment, and he got this like juice.
Oh.
He went on like a juice cleanse.
Oh, nice. And
he died. This fucking idiot, bro. He drank juice and died. he smoothed himself to death.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I just don't understand how people view him as like a brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming it was the whole like innovation in.
What innovation?
I don't know, some sort of cell phone innovation. Because I think the iPhone was the first phone to have like a full touchscreen thing.
Yes, that's kind of mentioned in this movie.
Yeah.
Right. So Apple in like the 90s, his predecessor.
Yeah.
They put out a phone or whatever, or I forget what they called. I want to call them a PDA, but
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. It's like you have a stylus and you tap.
Yes.
Right. And Steve tells him at the end of the movie, like, you don't need a stylus. You have 5 styluses on your hand.
Nice.
So like, yeah, I get that, but it's like everything he says and does, like any other person could do.
Yeah.
He just doesn't seem. All right. What is the basis of left-wing theory?
I don't know. It's like I was gonna say wokeism, but I don't think it is.
The work is only the means of production.
Yes. Okay.
In one sentence, that's it, right?
Right.
Why? Because we believe that the people who do the work are the people that are, are the people who should reap the rewards.
Yes.
As opposed to somebody
Like
who,
for example, Steve Jobs.
who like puts in the money, and then for whatever reason they get all the profits.
Yes.
Right.
For example, Steve Jobs.
Yes. So the right wing believes ownership is what.
Capitalism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ownership is what decides the profits.
Yes.
The left wing says that working is what decides the profits.
Yes.
And if you go through this guy's life, he's always had other people, better people, do the work, and he just like takes credit or like.
Yeah.
So in the movie, to like justify himself, he says, "I'm the conductor. You are a good player, and you play your role, but I'm the one, conducting,
keeping everyone in check, pretty much."
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's dumb.
Yeah.
Because the conductor is also part of the orchestra.
Yeah.
That's a cog. It's not.
It's not the whole thing.
Yes. If there was no conductor, they could still play.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be, precisely perfect, but they're all musicians. They could get a tune going.
Yeah.
They could.
They'd be able to
Yes.
play comfortably.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in this guy's way of trying to explain how he adds value to the world, he showed what a dipshit he is. But the thing is, that's Sorkin's dialogue. I don't know if C. Jobs actually said that, but it would be very funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Total dipshit. I'm sorry, I can't get over it. Well, like Kanye West.
Yeah.
Whenever he's like, he always says like, "I'm the new Walt Disney. I'm the new Steve Jobs."
Yeah.
But like, him, like Elon Musk as well.
Yeah.
Elongated muskrat. He's another person I just don't understand how you, as a sober-minded person, can look at them and say, "This is an inspirational figure and not an idiot."
Yeah.
But whatever. Sorry for going off on
a tangent, a little bit of a tangent there.
Yes.
Minor tangent.
Your recommendations, you said.
So recently I watched this TV show, right?
All right, I'm gonna slap you.
Okay, then let's not do that.
Yeah.
But it was a rough week, so I went back to my comfort movie, How to Train Your Dragon.
Very nice.
My favorite movie of all time. Yeah, and
Well,
that was really about it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my what I watched for the week, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
But I do want to recommend a TV show.
All right.
I really think it's gonna change the game
Okay.
if more people watch it. It's called Kaleidoscope.
Oh wow.
So it
okay.
depends on the order in which you watch it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You get a different outcome,
Okay.
or it changes your perspective.
Wow.
So that's my recommendation. I think the listeners should watch it.
Yeah. It sounds like a real game changer.
And I've definitely watched it. I'm not just doing some nonsense here. No. I've definitely watched it, and I stand by this recommendation. Anyway. Yeah, but otherwise I've had a very busy week at work and such, so
Yeah. So.
it's only those two movies that I watched like on Sunday. So yeah, I think we're done. Well, yeah. So thank you for listening. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, give a like, etc. All the things.
Yeah.
And importantly, it needs to be a 5-star review.
Yes.
In these previous weeks I've been saying, you give us a 4.5, you're fucking dead to me, or whatever. I mean to be saying like 4.5s and below. Because imagine it's like, you give us a 0-star review. I'm like, yeah, fair enough, that's how you feel. 4.5, you son of a bitch. No, but seriously, if you give us a 4.5, I will break into your house.
Okay.
I'll go to your book or DVD collection and rearrange them in a way that only makes sense to me. I'm not even saying it's like in how I like. I say every place I break into will be rearranged in a different way. So, yes, give us a 4.5 at your own peril. Imagine you just come home and you're like, alright, let me just go to the first DVD in my collection because that's my favorite. And you pull it out and you're like, what the fuck is this? That's what will happen to you. There will be consequences for 4.5 review. Mark my words. But again, 0, fair enough. That's a 0-star review. That's just how you feel. 4.5. It's the movie Taken. The movie Taken will happen to you. And yes, I might steal one of those books or DVDs. Who's to say? I might rearrange them and take one just.
You steal like the second one in a trilogy, and then it's over. You have to get a new book or a new DVD.
Or you could give us a 5-star review.
Yeah, your choice.
Oh yes, and importantly, oh wait, no, sorry, doing the wrong order.
Yeah.
Another piece of advice or constructive criticism I got when I was sending out the things is my friends thought I was sending like a spam link.
Oh.
Because it's so this is our URL.
Yes.
PAICIP pod.github.io/site.
Yes.
Which is a perfectly reasonable URL, right?
Yes.
GitHub is it's like a repository for code.
Yes.
So if I'm at work,
Uh-huh.
I do my work, I will commit my changes to GitHub.
Yeah.
Then if I come home, I can download those changes from GitHub and I can work on it at home.
Yeah.
That's one of the services people use. And GitHub has a feature called GitHub Pages, which allows you to host like very basic website.
Yeah.
So that's what I use to to host the site,
Yeah.
right? But that URL looks very
Suspicious.
suspicious.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm just gonna get a URL
Okay.
that's like PAICIP.com
Yeah.
or PAICIPpod.com. Oh, I don't know. We'll
figure it out.
We'll figure out. The point being, people were very hesitant to click on the link I sent.
Yes.
Mm.
But we promise it's not a virus.
Yeah, it's not a virus that you know about. Yeah. If the virus is our voices, then yes, there is a virus.
The only virus is your thoughts getting infected by our thoughts.
Yeah. So anyway, on that PAICIP-pod.github.io/site, you'll find our various social media links.
Yep.
And the links to all our DSPs.
Yep.
Like Spotify,
Apple Music.
Apple.
You just stopped at one. You're like, yeah, that's good enough.
I was thinking. Yeah, actually, I was doing some reading this week. Apparently, iTunes/Apple podcasts are very important.
Yeah.
That's where the majority of people listen to podcasts on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, our listeners on those devices, you're our soldiers on the front lines. We're in a war, goddammit. We need your help. 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
4.5 will execute some friendly fire.
No.
4.5 review will be met with friendly fire.
Executed for desertion.
Yes, you're deserting us, right? So especially, well, on every platform, rate, review, subscribe, etc.
Yep.
But
Do all the good stuff.
but if you're on iTunes or whatever, or is it iTunes or is it Apple Podcasts? I can't remember.
I think it's Apple Podcasts.
All right, whatever. You guys really need to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Do it extra.
Do it,
Create
yeah.
other accounts and
Yes.
leave more reviews.
The next thing is tell a friend.
Yeah.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell your friend's friend to tell their friends.
Make a new friend and then tell them.
Yeah.
Get in a long-term relationship with somebody. And then threaten to leave them if they don't listen to the podcast.
If you're already in a long-term relationship, then you can start that one now.
Threaten to leave unless
Straight away. You can do it immediately.
unless they listen, right? What else?
I think that's it. Should have prepared this better.
Well, that's it. Patreon.
Ah, yes.
On our DSPs, you will find a link to Patreon,
Yes.
which is where you will find bonus content.
Yeah.
You can subscribe for $5 dues a month.
$5 whole dues.
And that's not Australian dollars. I was just I was making a joke from The Simpsons. I'm realizing people might what's the word, confuse that for dollars and kangaroos. Okay. Anyway, I think we're done.
Alright.
Right. Au revoir.